All right. Once again, my name is Eskrent, and we are ready for the Final Fantasy Mystic Quest randomizer race with the theRPGchick and Hebinx. Take it away.
All right, it looks like we're just about ready to get moving here.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Although it looks like they haven't pulled us in yet.
No, I think we're
Yeah, I think
there.
we are live. Okay, cool. Hi, everyone. So, my name's Wote. With me in here is Wildham, and we're here to do commentary. All right. So anyway, since we got started really quickly, as you can see, we've got Rydia and Mog going at it with, yeah, just a lot of chaos happening very quickly as these runners very efficiently check chests. So yeah, Wildham here is the lead developer for the randomizer. Aren't you, Wildham? And I just realized that you can't hear me if I'm not clicking things in Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, everyone. A little bit of technical mayhem on the other side here. There we go. All right, now everything should be running fine. So, sorry for a little bit of confusion there. Please crash. All right. There we go. So, anyway, long story short, we are looking at a little bit of just somewhat standard, but not too standard randomization going on here. So, we have vanilla locations on, meaning that everything is where it's supposed to be in the game, except for items and monsters and just, you know, everything else. But normally, we have lately been doing a lot of things like floor shuffle, location shuffle, and the things, so none of that tonight. Our main goal is to clear out the 4 major dungeons, rescue the crystals, and then go fight the final boss, meaning that we are looking for a sky coin in the midst of all of this. We have a shortcut to the final dungeon, so all we need is the stuff needed to get into and beat the dungeons. So, specifically, we are looking for a sword to get into the ice dungeon, an axe and the dragon claw to clear the wind dungeon, and it looks like we already have bombs, so that saves us a lot of work. So Wild, tell us a little bit about what's going on in terms of what all the randomizers looking for with the settings for where they can go.
Well, right now we already found the sun coin and the river coin, so we already have like 3/4 of the maps open up to us. So already we are going to have some tough choice to make pretty soon.
Yeah, so normally in standard settings, the coins are your only means of knowing what parts of the game you have access to, but these two are running on the expert setting. So we are essentially looking at also potentially being forced to use a glitch or two, or needing to use little teleportation tiles if we happen to locate the crests for that. So what we are mostly looking for at the moment is just a beginning moment of where are we going? Clarification. I don't believe we found any other weapons yet, so this might push them toward Fireberg simply to kind of get some extra power from Ruben, get that Tristan 2 item. I guess we should talk a little bit about how the randomizer works in terms of the open world aspect. So, most of the story events have been cut out by Wildham. So that means that we basically, once we pick up an ally, we have them unless we opt to swap them out. And they are all going to be located at fixed spaces based sort of on where they're found in the vanilla game. So Kaylee is going to be in her house. Phoebe is going to be initially found in the cave in Aquaria. And then both of them, once they have given you their key item, we can potentially find them at the inn in Windia. Ruben is going to be at his house, and Tristan was initially found in his normal spot, and then can be found again at the cafe in Fireburg. And the trigger for whether you're finding someone in their initial location or their upgraded location is, have they given you their key item? So that's the main thing to know, is just what these runners are looking for is the weapons they need to clear the dungeons, access to those dungeons, and a character strong enough to drag them through it, because your character is not the source of power here. So,
yeah, at least not for now.
Yeah, for now. So, long story short, though, at the moment we can see that power is definitely a bit of an issue for RPGchick. Just Tristram is not a very good friend. Although it looks like this time Tristram is not getting his face rocked, which is helping. And
the Flamer's Rex rolled a Flame Pillar, I think, which is pretty much an instead it if he does cast it.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, no, party members are not found in like random locations. Those are fixed for now. I think there is an idea to potentially randomize that down the line, but under these flags, we know where the party members are. We just have to be able to access them.
And we found the Libra Crest on Hebinx side.
Yeah, so Libra Crest, don't believe that's going to let us like bypass needing anything yet, but that does at least open up a couple of useful checks. But yeah, we are tossing Tristram out to pick up Phoebe, which does mean that we will be able to find Tristram 2 in Fireburg to potentially get an item from him. We will not be taking Tristram 2 to the end game. Tristram 2 is not very good. He is just very fast.
Oh, and the Sun Coin?
Okay, never mind. We now have access to everything. So the main restrictions at this point are we're going to need a sword, the Dragon Claw, and an axe in order to be able to get into everything. Because I believe, and I always get a little bit mixed up here, I do not believe we actually need bombs to get to the boss in Lava Dome.
Right, yeah. There's actually no item requirements to get to the Fire Hydra.
Yeah, so as always, the biggest problem in this seed is Pazuzu. But yeah, so this hopefully will go pretty quick, because, you know, because this game, the way it works with the using your items on the overworld map being the main mechanic we're looking at, that means that we're looking at a lot of more or less places that are locked by the same things that are restricting us from being able to access the boss dungeons that we need in order to unlock the final dungeon. So that's sort of what we're looking at the moment. We need to find a sword so we can get into ice, and we need the Dragon Claw and the axe. Now, we do have a flag in this randomizer that does allow for progressive weapons, meaning we would need to find the other two claws before we can find the Dragon Claw. That flag is not on tonight. We can just find the Dragon Claw in any place that has key items. And you can tell whether or not a key item is in a location because there's going to be a big red chest there. If you see these battlefields that are colored blue, those are also potentially going to have a key item. And I believe we have prioritized battlefields on, which means that we are guaranteed to get something useful out of the blue battlefields.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So the main thing we are looking for at this point is just progression, because we can go basically anywhere in the world. So it's just a matter of where we're going. So at the moment, Hebinx is going to go ahead and use this thunder rock that he found on the rope bridge, and we're going to go look around a little bit in sort of some of these later game areas. So yeah, it's one of those things, if you have played this game before, a lot of your knowledge is going to carry over to the randomizer if you've not tried the randomizer before. For example, Meteor, still a decent spell through the mid-game, for instance. And the magic mirror still is necessary to see things in the ice pyramid, things like that. So what we are looking for is just something. So both of these runners having the full run of the game are more or less just going where they think they're going to have a decent density of checks. So Hebinx went ahead, cleared out what he could in Windia. A lot of that is locked behind the Dragon Claw and the Axe, though, so his research was limited. RPGchick, meanwhile, decided, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead, do a couple of things in Aquaria and move on to Fireburg. So they have kind of converged, and we know just from kind of watching both sides that our progression is here in Fireburg. That cat claw is nice, and we've got some decent armor, but we're probably heading up Volcano, don't you think?
Yeah, well, with the claw and the bomb, you might check mine first.
True.
But Volcano is pretty close after that.
Yeah. I imagine we'll see both. We're missing so much equipment. And that is the thing. So our go mode in this randomizer is basically clear the 4 dungeons. Because one of the flags we do have on is a shortcut to the final dungeon. And so we don't need all of the equipment we would normally need to access the final dungeon. We just need to have the sky coin to open the door into it. So, and yeah, just, I guess it is worth calling out. Y'all paid for it. We do have the Shrug % rule set going, which is not an enforced rule set. It is just an agreement between the 2 runners. Anytime they see the old man on the cloud, they do need to talk to the old man on the cloud. And then we get a little shrug. So.
And yeah, looks like Binks chose to go back to India already to pick up Phoebe.
I don't hate it. Phoebe 2 is the strongest character in the game. About the only reason not to have her is if you would prefer to have Kaylee's protection from petrification.
Yeah, it might be annoying if also Ruben ends up having an item on him, but it's a gamble that it's fair to take.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's 2 checks. Well, no, it's 1 check behind that. Because, yeah, you can check Ruben's dad without Ruben as long as you have the mega grenades.
Right, right.
Yeah, so. But we'll see what this. Yeah, I imagine we're going to see both of these runners, though. Like you said, probably check out the mine. That's a pretty high density location. Probably the highest density location we can full clear at the moment. So I would be surprised if we don't see mine, and if mine doesn't give up the goods, then we can head straight into Volcano from there, and then potentially go ahead and do Lava Dome if they're feeling powerful enough, which they've got Phoebe too. They'll be powerful enough. That said, I'm not really sure whose routing feels stronger at the moment. You know, Hebinx did need to kind of double back to pick up Phoebe too, after Windia kind of was a bust. So RPGchick is only need to make this single dip, but doesn't really feel like Hebinx is too far behind in terms of clearing things out, so...
Oh.
Ooh.
And he's keeping mine.
Maybe saving it for if he finds the Mega Grenades, so he doesn't have to do all of that walking back to Ruben's dad?
Yeah, but because the settings they're using is you're not guaranteed to have a key item on an NPC. That means that Ruben's dad could have just nothing, so I don't think it's worth the wait in that case.
Well, it's one of those things. We'll see if it pays off to hold off, because RPGchick could very easily opt to do mines herself. I think she tends to favor a more aggressive approach when it comes to sort of, you know, fading checks. Hebinx, I know, tends to be a little on the thorough side. You know, maybe those tendencies have changed as they've sort of done their own thing with the randomizer. Because I know Hebinx at least likes to do a lot of, like, just seeds on his own.
Oh, exit. So Hebinx found the exit book, which will speed up his exploration a bit. That's there's a good edge over the theRPGchick.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. RPG shouldn't be too far behind in terms of picking up the exit book. Worst case is, you know, that's delayed until after doing mine. But in the meantime, yeah, so RPG is going to go ahead and clear out this blue battlefield. Don't recall exactly what we got out of here, but I don't think it was anything too dominating. Alright, so it's the Captain Cap. So, if we do find Mega Grenades, we've already found a Thunder Rock. So we can at least go check the ship. I doubt either runner's going to do that unless things get real desperate.
Yeah, and these flags you really don't want to end up on max ship.
Yeah, because I think there's a handful of spots that Dragonclaw could be given this item layout, because that's probably the biggest restriction, is the Dragonclaw, because any sword or any axe will do for dungeon access, but we have to have the Dragonclaw. So that is by far the worst part of making this trip, is just the lack of a Dragonclaw could funnel them into max ship if it's just that's where the Dragonclaw landed.
Right. At least they don't have to do a giant tree. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, worst case scenario, they do have to, like, chop their way through half of a live forest to find the Dragonclaw if that's where it landed, but... probably the deepest place the Dragonclaw could be in terms of just, like, you know, having to roll through a dungeon would be, like, Ice Pyramid at this point? Or maybe,
Yeah,
maybe somewhere in the back of Lava Dome?
Yeah, well, it could be trolling you and being right at the beginning of Pazuzu's Tower too.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, so in the meantime, it looks like RPGC has also opted to do the let's go ahead and do Lava Dome play. So both these runners going to be on relatively even footing.
Yeah, RPGchick is a bit behind, but she also did kill Flamerus Rex, which Hebinx hasn't done.
So yeah, so wait, did Hebinx just walk out then?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I think he wiped twice to him, so after that, just come back later. You'll be much stronger.
Apologies on the apologies on the tracking front. Technical difficulties kind of threw off the rhythm there. So, we'll try to keep up as best as we can, but we are kind of trying to both pay attention to what's happening on the screen and remember to click the buttons, which sometimes gets a little bit fuzzy. It is a little bit late here as well, so apologies if I'm a little bit slow on the uptake. But either way, we are definitely going to try and keep up. If you see we miss something, feel free to call it out in chat, and we will happily catch up on the tracking. But yeah, so in the meantime, Hebinx does get that fire crystal lit. So now we'll see where he goes from here, because we do have a sword, so that is going to open up ice, and with the mirror in hand, that's also going to definitely push us potentially to going ahead and clearing out Ice Pyramid, because, yeah, Bomb's Claw, sword, we can go ahead and full clear that.
Yep, we're still looking for an axe and that Dragon Claw.
So, and it looks like Hebinx is at least going to go ahead and clear out these spots back here. We can't get into the back of Focus Tower yet because we need the Wake Water to open that up. But he might go ahead and do the Pyramid just to go ahead and get all those boxes out of the way. And never mind, there's our axe. But yeah, so yeah, it looks like Hebinx is heading straight back into Aquaria, probably going to just go ahead and clear out the pyramid. It looks like both of these runners are generally opting for these sort of go ahead and do the dungeon checks. And Hebinx also going ahead and picking up the white spell, so he at least has magic solved for the end of the game. Because that's very much the big thing at this point, is they're just going to need to make sure they have enough power to get pushed through the final dungeon. The Mega Grenades are going to help.
Have they found life yet?
I
don't think they did.
I think so. We found exit, and I think we found either cure or heal.
Yeah,
I always forget what symbol is what. But yeah, life is going to be big because that's going to be your keep Phoebe on her feet thing. But we are definitely still wanting at least to find the Aegis. And I do not believe that Pazuzu's floor is normalized, as someone has asked over in chat. I think that's still a matter of you have to actually deal with the jerk bird.
Well, what do you mean by normalized?
I'm assuming they mean just like, you know, not subject to RNG.
Oh, actually, yes, in the rando, the Pazuzu RNG is fixed, so both runner will find Pazuzu at the same floor the first time they talk to him.
All right, cool. I'm gonna be honest, I have never bothered to learn anything about Pazuzu logic, so it's sort of like I never can remember if that's a thing that people who know what they're doing can make Pazuzu be where they want him to be. So
yeah, I don't know if there's anything you can do too. Well, I mean, I guess with test but you could manipulate their RNG, but otherwise it's pretty hard to do by yourself.
And to answer the question, no, that's not the Dragon Claw. He picked up the Charm Claw unless he found another claw up here. But yeah, so again, we didn't turn progressive weapons on, but the game is making it look a lot like that. Because yeah, I think we found the bombs in order, and now we're finding the claws in order.
Well, while we're winding our way through the pyramids here, this might be a good opportunity to get some donation comments in.
In the meantime, we are just, you know, trucking on ahead. Both runners, again, opting to go ahead and go for their crystal checks. I think it's going to be interesting, though, if the Dragon Claw is not in any of these, like, main dungeons, which it's looking increasingly skinny. That's where things are going to get interesting in terms of routing decisions. I wouldn't be surprised if both of them go ahead and... Actually, there's a question of where you would go from here. Because I think we've seen most of the boxes in Wintry Cave.
No, actually, they didn't have. Neither had the claw when they got there, so we got the squid half to do. So that's a few check.
Yeah, that's like what, 3-4 boxes?
Actually, $8. Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna see Wintry Cave then, if they don't find the Dragon Claw here, which they didn't. So. And yeah, you know, I think at this point we can take a moment if you've got anything to add.
Well, I certainly have some donation comments again. I don't know if we've got time for it. So I'll start off with $5 from Keishira, who says, I can't stay up to watch the race, but I wanted to wish my good friend and fellow Valkyrie RPG Chick the best of luck. Please put this donation toward RPG Chick's choice. And we have $100 from Wells, who says, don't forget to equip the sword. We have $10 from Big Daryl 1986. Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there this year, but next year I will be live on location to help troll any and all Mystic Quest rando races that need some comms. Good luck to Hebinx and theRPGchick, and send my donation to RPG Chick's choice. We've got $100 from Sire.
Alrighty. So I think we can get back to doing things, or, you know, we're doing everything. But anywho, we are going to go ahead and, it looks like, check Falls Basin, at least on Hebinx's side. We'll see what RPG opts to do in terms of where things are going. But we're going to definitely probably finish clearing out Aquaria from both runners, I feel like.
And nothing in Fall Basin.
Yeah. So if Wintry Cave turns up empty, I think that means at that point we have to... Well, okay. I suspect we're going to see both of them head to the mine if they don't find anything here in Wintry Cave. But there is a world where someone takes a gamble on a live forest, I think.
Yeah, that's a big gamble, though. There's not a lot of check there without the Dragon Claw, and then you have to trek all the way back to Fireberg.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's any alternative to the mine, and I don't really think there is. Like, you know, you maybe do some checks back in Foresta, because there's like 4 boxes we couldn't get to without an axe. But, yeah. So, I guess one thing worth pointing out about how the randomizer works is, as I pointed out before, key items are going to be always in the red boxes, and the brown boxes are always going to be indicative of, like, consumables. And honestly, there's not a lot of reason to pick up the consumables. Phoebe's going to have enough healing to where you don't really need the heals or the lives, and you don't need refreshers. About the only thing worth picking up are seeds, and I believe both of these runners tend to favor the art of just buying a bunch of seeds once you have a chance.
Yeah, especially since the vendor don't have anything good this time.
Yeah, because the seeds, for those who are unaware, is your healing potion, and well, it looks like Hebinx is deciding to take that Alive Force gamble. I think finding that Mobius crest kind of pushed him in this direction, because that at least opens a few more boxes up.
Yeah, and then like he has everything now to do max ship too.
Oh yeah, true. So we'll see if RPGC follows a similar line of thinking. Yeah, I guess another thing, if Hebinx never got the Earth Crystal, I could see, like, that would incentivize going back and kind of doing a couple of checks in Foresta. Did we just completely miss the, Okay. Now, he didn't find Gemini Crest somewhere, and we just both missed it.
And nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing that we will not be seeing this seed is them needing to climb the tree. The only reason I could imagine anyone even considering that is if they were desperate to find the Aegis Shield.
Yeah, I know there was one seed where all the swords ended up in the giant tree, so even with an axe and the dragon claw, it was still required. But in this case, we're all set already.
Yeah, like, literally the only reason to do that would be by choice, and that's if you just were absolutely desperate for that petrification resist. So, I imagine, folks are wondering who's in the lead right now, and the answer is, Shrug Animation, really. There's Norma, and she has been rescued, filling the oath that y'all paid for us to see. Fulfilled. Oh, okay, never mind, RPGchick's in the lead.
Yeah, that's huge.
Because, Hebinx didn't double back to make that check when he found the Megas. And he is... Well, okay. So, in terms of where he might go... So, we know he has Mine available to him, and that's exactly where he's going right now. Ooh, using that exit. I don't know if you caught that, Wild. He Yeah, he used the Mobius Crest to teleport to the locked house in Fireburg, and then the exit spell to just jump out of Fireburg, because otherwise, without the multi-key, he wouldn't have been able to leave.
Right, it's a very clever trick.
Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and do the mine, and after he's done in the mine, he might double back to finish clearing out Lava Dome, because, you know...
Yeah, it would be a quicker check. I mean, maybe still be tempted to do Volcano first.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he saw that there was a chest behind the Mega Grenade check, though.
Well, it's one of those things, he may have avoided that check knowing he didn't have the Mega Grenades, but with the Mega Grenades in hand and being in the neighborhood, it's not a very deep check, so he could also have that going on. But yeah, so about the only thing here that Hebinx might really, really want to see is either the multi-key or the Aegis Shield.
I think the life spell would be really nice too.
Okay, yeah, fair. So there's a few things he could find here, and he is going to find absolutely nothing of use.
You wait to see it.
Well, I mean, Ruben's dad might still give him something, but yeah, you go in there, there's 4 boxes, you expect at least one of them's going to give you something, and you find nothing. You hate to see it.
Only heal potions.
And heal potions. Thanks, Ruben's dad. See where he gets it from now. Okay, so this was the best case scenario for Hebinx. He did lose some time going into mine, but he should very quickly here have his Dragon Claw and be in go mode. So this is going to be a pretty quick seed, all things considered, because both runners already approaching, you know, the good level to be able to deal with, or good enough levels on their respective main characters to be able to deal with the final bosses. Because yeah, like, they're both, like, RPGchick is just now hitting level 16. Hebinx will be level 16 by the time he finishes out Pazuzu. And probably both of them are going to wind up around probably 18 or 19 by the time they get to Dark King. So, for folks who are familiar with the vanilla game, you probably are aware of the most infamous glitch in this game, the Cure, it's what, the Cure Underflow? Is that the, like, proper name for it?
Yeah, it's a... Well, it's an overflow bug, yeah. The Cure overflow bug.
Okay. But yeah, but basically you cast Cure on the final boss, he takes a ludicrous amount of damage, you just cheese the fight. Wildham here fixed that. You don't get to do that anymore. There's not even a button to turn it on.
Yeah, no free meal.
Yeah. So we are going to have to actually beat the final boss, and we do have attack randomization, simple attack randomization on, so I think he just gets to keep all of his normal abilities.
No, he's randomized. It's just
Okay.
the more nice. He's not going to clone himself or anything like that. So.
Oh no, I think they have safe randomization on, so
Yeah.
I think I thought that excluded Dark King's attacks.
It used to, but it was changed and 2 patches ago, I think.
You might want to fix the tooltip on that then, Wild.
Oh.
Okay. Live updating of the website at some point. But yeah, so... Okay, so Dark King still, though, has really good stats. So even without his, like, super good fixed damage abilities, he's still probably going to be hitting like a truck. But in the meantime, RPGchick continuing to have to chase the bird through the tower, while we have Hebinx chasing some stuff. I think we have time for a quick donation while we are waiting.
Absolutely, I've got a few of those at the ready. I'll start with $100 from Sire, saying, "Let's go, we're rooting for you, Hebinx. The Instapot gang is here praying for some good luck on the run, but also, obviously, rooting for a good race." We have $10 from Silvermoon9000. Let's continue raising money for a good cause, and good luck, RPGchick and Hebinx. We have $5 from Emmy Elliott.
All right, but yeah, so we are now into the Pazuzu fight. This should go pretty... Yeah, okay. Apologies, Esper, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I actually can't hear you live. I'm having to listen to you on stream delay.
No, it's all good here. I'll just finish that thought with $5 from Emmy Elliott, saying, "What an amazing race. Good luck to both runners, but gotta cheer for my buddy Hebinx. Good luck and have fun."
Alright, so with that all said, we are going to be back to looking at what's going on here. So, as folks are calling out in chat, we do have posing like a French bird going on. And that is going to very quickly turn to Pazuzu being very dead. And with that, we are going to have, I think that's the 4th crystal for RPGchick. She's into the final dungeon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Hebinx will have to go back to a bone dungeon after his Pazuzu kill.
Yeah. So, with that being said, the final dungeon has been cut very short. We are basically looking at a boss rush, just straight up the middle. 4 bosses and then the final boss. No having to wander around through complex dungeon floors. I personally miss seeing the dungeons, but I understand that no one wants to deal with it. And I understand.
So it seems the RPGchick hasn't found the exit spell, so she's going to have to kill the ice golem, the stone golem, the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, but if Hebinx has to go all the way back to clear Bone Dungeon still, that's gonna work out in her favor, though I'm not entirely sure what RPG is doing here, but I guess that was just a quick check to see what Spencer had. Alright, so yeah, she's hitting a bunch of quick checks, probably looking for that exit spell like you mentioned. Finds Flare.
Oh, Flare.
I'm actually not sure if Hebinx popped that one open. Okay, thank you, chat, for letting us know. Yeah, so that's just another big advantage. So yeah, folks are wondering who was in the lead. It's RPGchick at this point. Although Hebinx needing to do Bone Dungeon last with the exit spell, it's at least not the worst run. Because as soon as he's out of Bone Dungeon, he is right here with that shortcut. So we'll see how this goes from here. But with that, we are into one of the best final dungeon themes in gaming history. So, this should be fun. But yeah, Skullrus Rex is going to go down pretty quick to Phoebe casting Life. And Hebinx is into his Pazuzu fight, so he'll be making his way back to the Foresta area with a swiftness. But I'd say at this point, RPGchick's got what, like, probably a 5-minute lead?
Yeah, that's about right.
So, we'll see how beefy this stone golem turns out to be, what kind of attacks he's got. That's not the best start, but it looks like he's rolled low on the HP, considering how quickly these whites are melting him. But yeah, Phoebe gonna go ahead and pick up our Rydia, and yeah, this is a little bit of a rude stone golem. This is why most runners prefer to just cast exit and be done with it. But RPGchick does still make quick work of it, and we are going to go ahead and move on to Jerkbird 2.0, aka Zup. Ooh, but it looks like Hebinx did set off Psych Shield, or the equivalent thereof, over there on Pazuzu, so he's going to need to pick his Mog up. Or just finish Pazuzu off with Phoebe.
Oh no.
What was that?
Phoebe just got killed on the theRPGchick side.
Ooh, yeah, that's not great, and we did never find that that life spell, so... But she should have enough firepower to finish this off, hopefully. This is gonna be close, though. This is not the, like, if you're on the last phase... Ooh, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, at this point, Hebinx does probably want a couple of a couple of deaths here to kind of close the gap a little bit. Because, yeah, that is the one thing. Without life on either side, these runners are a little bit at the mercy of these bosses. So, this is still anyone's race. Because if any of these bosses, you know, rolled close to vanilla, all it takes is a couple of bad attacks hitting Phoebe, and we are suddenly in the danger zone like you just saw. But it is still definitely RPGchick's race to lose at the moment. Just the time advantage is pretty big. But every wipe does give Hebinx a chance. So we'll see what happens rolling into these next two fights, because I think Twin Head Wyvern is not long for this world. Phoebe is healthy, and the damage is rolling in quick. And yeah, there we go. So, by that same token, yeah, Flavor's Rest is already done. Hebinx is going to exit out and be also into the final dungeon. So, we'll see where things are going from here. But, Esquire, if you want to give us one quick donation while we see how the Zup fight plays out.
Oh, absolutely. I've got one quick donation to get in here. That'll be $40 from Twile, saying, gotta donate for the game with the best enemy sprites. Donation goes to Wote's Choice Incentive.
Ah, perfect. Yeah, so I believe that there's a rendition of 1,000 Words that is still looking for some funds. So let's put that toward that. And if folks are looking for something to donate to, I like that song, and it's now stuck in your head because I mentioned it. So yeah, Za, in the meantime, looking like a pretty vanilla HP, because yeah, we're just now getting into the getting tired phase. After multiple rounds of hammering him. Oh no, that's Silver Web.
Yeah.
So, that's a problem. Confused Phoebe is not the Phoebe you want. And yeah, we can see Hebinx already up to Stone Golem and going to be through this real quick with that exit spell in hand. So this is about to get real interesting if Zuh is able to kind of keep RPGchick trapped here for a minute. But alright, we are into French Bird Zuh, and Hebinx is still playing catch up a little bit. Oh! Question from chat though. If someone theoretically wanted to try the Mystic Quest Rando, what could they do about that? Well, you could look up ffmqrando.net on the World Wide Web, and I believe that would get you both the randomizer and a link to our community Discord. That you were going to say, Wild?
No, well, yeah. We're just, Hebinx is just one wipe away to catch up, so it will all depends on Darking.
Yep. Well, we are into the final fight, and as is tradition, we are going to be quiet for a moment to allow everyone to just take in the beginning phase music, or the beginning of the music for Dark King, because this is the best final boss theme on the Super Nintendo and in gaming history. So, see y'all on the other side. Yeah, I am well aware Dancing Mad was on the Super Nintendo. I stand by what I said. I know what I said, and I meant it. Like, listen to this. This track has no business going this hard, and yet here we are. But yeah, we are into Phase 3 on RPGchick's side. I haven't really seen anything too nasty so far, which is helpful. But at the very least, it looks like Dark King is rocking a pretty healthy amount of HP in each of these phases so far. But
no, he seems to have a few good attacks there. Skydive is a bit, it's pretty annoying, and then
yeah,
I think there's electrical sword too.
Yeah, we're seeing some damage now, but for a little bit there, it looked like he was playing nice, but yeah, this phase is looking pretty bulky though, and did. Yeah, I was gonna say, did RPGchick leave Phoebe on manual, or was that an intentional blizzard? Or not manual, auto. I'm assuming the blizzard was the result of an auto feeding, but we are into Tentacle Dark King mode. So when that Dark King glows red, that will be the end of this race. So it's looking pretty good for RPGchick at this point. Although Hebinx definitely did a good job playing catch-up after needing to double back a couple of times. Yeah, he'll potentially be getting into the Dark King fight as RPGchick is finishing it. But this is going to be quick. Yep, there it is. So that is going to be time for RPGchick. Looked like a 5402, and Hebinx gonna go ahead and finish up the Dark King. This should be a pretty quick fight on his end as well. So yeah, get those GGs out. And yeah, we can just go ahead and enjoy more of the Dark King's theme, and yeah. Yeah, like I said though, without the ability to just, you know, blast away most of his hit points with Cure, this fight can turn into a bit of a brawl, especially if you don't necessarily have the armor or the levels. I personally prefer to have the Dark King keep his vanilla abilities, because his vanilla abilities can definitely make this a desperate battle very easily. Especially with that petrification, since Phoebe doesn't have it naturally. But what we did roll today still definitely keeps the runners on their toes, forces them to maintain healing. If that Dark King had rolled up on speed, that can also pose an issue. But again, you know, this is just a quick showcase of the randomizer. This is nowhere near as crazy as it can get. And a lot of what the community's been doing recently is putting these sprites together, these custom sprites. So if that's something that appeals to you, we are definitely open to folks who are coming in and just trying to put everything into this game's style, which, as you can see, is really simple. So, as far as, again, if you want to come check out the randomizer, that's going to be ffmqrando.net. And Wildham, do you have anything else to add? Because I think we're going to be very quickly coming up on the end of this, and I'm assuming we're going to be wanting to jump straight into some other stuff.
No, that was a great race. GG to both runners. It was very close and very fun.
Yeah, and there is our red glow. So, with that, I believe we are going to go ahead and pass things back to S. Grunt. I know there's still an interview coming with these two, so hopefully we'll get to check that out soon. But thank y'all for watching and your patience with us as we kind of sorted through some of the technological rigmarole. But thanks for watching, y'all, and enjoy the rest of the marathon. And be sure to throw some support Nami's way. So, with that, I guess we'll let y'all take back over control. Thank you again.
Thank you to RPGchick and Hebinx for that run of the Final Fantasy Mixed Quest Randomizer. As you've just heard, in just a few moments we will be going over to an interview hosted by the lovely Natara of our two runners. But in the meantime, we do have many donations in the name of Nami. We have $50 from Neo Bullseye, which says, "Go RPGchick, go! Good luck!" We have $5 from Iceburner, which says, "Go RPGchick," to the runner's choice. We have $50 from Kaboink saying, "Overjoyed to see this randomizer run. Staying up late just to catch this one. Good luck to the runners and have fun." We have another $50 from Bulse saying, "FFMQ, let's go." And we have $15 from Geisterkarl saying, "More mysticism, more quests, Final Fantasy. Have some nice RNG." We have $25 from Nemo2342 saying, "Always glad to see RPG Limit Break again. Thanks to all the runners and staff who make this great event possible. Oh, and runners, good luck with the Jerkbirds." You're watching RPG Limit Break 2023 live from Salt Lake City in support of the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI. To get involved in the fight against mental illness and the stigmas it can bring, please reach out to NAMI via their state organizations or on Facebook, where they can be found as NAMI, on Instagram and Twitter as @NAMICommunicate. It's not a weakness to need help. Please reach out if you think you need help. Okay. Are we good? Okay. All right. All right, it sounds like we are ready for our interview by the lovely Natara of our two runners of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer, the theRPGchick and Hebinx. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Grunt, for that. Hello, my name is Natara, and I'm here to interview our amazing Mystic Quest Rando runners. We have the theRPGchick and Hebinx.
Hello.
And we are going to talk to them about that amazing race. How did it go? How are you feeling about that seed afterwards?
Honestly, I can't believe I actually won that because he has beat me in everything lately.
It was pretty by the books. I feel a little bad where I checked Dragonclaw last, but I mean, rando gonna rando, and I wanted to, you know, be meticulous.
I just had that nagging feeling. It was that one chest right behind the bomb, so I was like,
You followed your gut and it panned out.
Yeah, it's always that one check with rando that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really good. It was so good. You know what else is good? We have some really cool partners in Mystic Quest. So we're going to do a little mini game here while we're chilling. We are going to play Rate That Partner. We are using a very simple scale. We are going from scale 6 to 2, which is, of course, based on the Pazuzu Tower floors and the preferred order, which I'm sure all of you know, right? Yeah. So it's 6, 1, 5, 4, 2. Okay? 6 best, 2 worst. So we've got 4 partners. We're going to start with our boy Tristram. Let's do our rating. Let's see what we get. What are we going to rate him? Okay, you ready? Show the camera. Okay, trash can. Or 2. Good. I see we're big Tristram fans here, but he has the shuriken. It's great.
He's a meat shield at best.
Okay, fair.
I mean, he's the best at missing.
Yeah, he's really good at that, I gotta say.
I don't know, my boy Ruben.
Yeah, speaking of your boy Ruben, how do we feel about him, our little friendly sandwich? Okay, we ready? Let's see. Camera, what do we got? Ooh, 4 and 1. Oh, you like our boy. Well,
He does, Ruben 2 does have the white spell.
Okay, fair.
So that does make a difference.
Okay.
He also hits like a truck with that Morning Star.
That's true. Well, at least we didn't get a 2 there. Now, we're about to get to the really decisive 2 here. Like our prize donations here, we have lovely perlers of 2 of our characters. We have Benjamin and we have Kaylee, one of the 2 lovely ladies who is our partners. Please tell us what you think of this lovely Kaylee. And those, of course, are prizes that you can win, brought to us by the wonderful Red Silvers for a minimum $10 donation, and that is open until Quest for Glory 2 if you want to get in on those. So, let's show the camera. How are we rating our girl Kaylee? Ooh, again, difference, 5 and 1. So we really love her here, but not so great. Meh. Okay. And I know I'm a little biased here, but how about Phoebe? How do we feel about our girl Phoebe, the one who you may have noticed was in that rando run for most of it? Okay, we ready? Let's go. 6! Big 6! I'm glad our runners both get to stay. They rated correctly. I mean, I'm not biased or anything. Well, since we know we all agree on the best partner there, any last words before we get the show going again?
Definitely want to thank RPG Limit Break for having us, for sure. The Mystic Quest Rando community is a really amazing community. You don't even really have to know the game. We have a whole bunch of resources for y'all to use, and we keep updating this rando all the time.
Yep, I actually just got done making a how to make a seed video update. It should be live. And ready in our new player room. And honestly, without the community, we wouldn't be here. I threw out the word for sprites for our donation incentive, and people came out of the woodwork. And now we had 5 sprites. We have 46 now to choose from.
In like the course of what, like 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So genuinely, without that community, we wouldn't be here. So shout outs to all the Mystic Quest Rando community. A lot of love there. And thanks again to RPG Limit Break for having us.
And big shout outs to Wildham for taking on the bulk of the work.
Yeah, for real.
Well, thank you so much to both of you and to the Mystic Quest Rando community. We're going to send it back to the wonderful Escrons. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.
Well, thank you, Natara, thank you, RPGchick, and thank you, Hebinx, for that interview of our runners of Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer. Coming up in just a few minutes, we will be having a run of the Bard's Tale, Tales of the Unknown by Organ Mike. Yeah, and in just a few minutes, we'll be taking a quick break, and I'll be handing off the mic to the wonderful and talented Frozenspade. Stay tuned.
Good evening, late night crew. I will be your host for the next 3 runs. Frozenspade here. How's everybody doing? Thanks for tuning in. Alrighty, Frozenspade here. In an effort to support the mission statement of NAMI, we would encourage our chat and our donors to avoid using mental health-related pejoratives such as crazy, insane, nuts, mental, or bonkers when describing situations that are extraordinary. We would ask you to be mindful of the language you use, as many people do not even realize these are pejoratives. Instead, consider using words such as bananas, wild, extraordinary, superb, amazing, or ridiculous. We greatly appreciate your cooperation in this and hope that you can carry this forward in your everyday lives. Alrighty.